I'm Dawna Hetzler.
And I'm Sally Smith.
We, just like you, are bravely walking through the dark valleys of life in hopes of scaling joyful summits.
We believe that safe and trusted women are a force to be reckoned with. When we climb together, we can reach the mountaintop.
Many of our challenges come from feeling as if we are stuck while trying to ascend, hiding in crevices, waiting for storms to pass.
Might we suggest that you have a more proactive role in reaching the peaks of your own life?
Let's laugh at the untruths we were taught, from the common religious myths to the lies we believe about our situations and about ourselves.
It is our hope that our time together brings you solace from life's daily drudgery and a bit of lighthearted laughter.
This is a safe place where you are welcome, right where you are, even in your questions and doubts. So rise up, sister. It's time to conquer together.
And we certainly hope you'll say, "Now that's funny!"
Welcome to another episode of That's Funny. Now, here's your host, Dawna Hetzler and Sally Smith.
Welcome, everybody. Oh my gosh, we are into the new year and we are excited to be together. And we are dispelling the myth. We're still working on everything happens for a reason. Now that's
funny.
I love the delay because we get all the laughs, and a little different. As you can tell, we're still apart, and we'll be resuming soon. But we are in the midst of this series with interviews, so we are going to jump into interviews. And we've got a very special guest. But before we do that, Sally, you have honored me with that tree.
Yes, I have. So I was just waiting to tell you all that Dawna said in one of our episodes that I need to keep my tree up through her birthday month. So the tree is still up per Dawna.
Oh, thank you. And I'm still accepting all through the month of January gifts for my birthday. So feel free to send gifts. But actually, the best gift of all is if you like, subscribe, and send us comments. So
yes,
there we have it. So this is a great story and the best interview ever. So thank you, Shane, for saying yes to this. But I want to give you a little background about Shane. If you've been tracking with us, you've heard Sally share Shane's story. And Shane is Sally's son, our miracle. We have had the privilege of journeying with you guys in this life. And Shane, you have an awesome story, and it is my privilege to be here next to you. You are famous. You are a band leader. You play the drums. You've been playing the drums since you were 3 years old, right?
Actually, yes. Two was his drum set.
Okay, 2. We're going to have to post that picture in a link or something so everybody can see. That would be really cool.
I'll try and put it in like the YouTube comments. I don't know if you can put photos in there. Figure it out.
Okay, yeah, that would be cool. And you've had this miraculous journey. And so we know that everything happens for a reasons. So not just one, but maybe many reasons. And we're going to discuss that today. But I also wanted to say Shane is now an author too, because you're writing a series on YouTube, right?
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm taking my shot at it and seeing how it goes.
I love it. And that's some crazy graphics. I really was like, ooh, that's cool. So
it was a friend that I bought those from.
Nice. Well, I think you should stand for our applause as we introduce you,
I'm wearing my shirt.
That's funny. Nicely done.
Yes.
I'm wearing the earrings today that say that's funny too.
All right.
I've worn the earrings.
I know, right? Didn't you get the memo?
I didn't.
All right, we're going to jump in, you guys. So Shane, we talked about everything happens for most likely like many reasons. And when somebody says, oh, things happen for a reason, we feel like it's kind of like single-minded and it kind of narrows things and puts it in a box real neat and puts a bow on it and
Hmm.
dismisses a person. So we believe that it's many reasons, and sometimes those reasons are very hard. But one of the things we were talking about off camera was, you've done worship in a church for a long time, and then that kind of ended. And so, do you want to
Yeah.
talk about that first? Maybe jumping in, like, what were the reasons and what happened? So,
Yeah. Well, when this show started, I I really wanted to do it because you guys came to me and it was just like that's such a great idea, and like I was very much feeling led to be a part of it and make it happen. But I have a million things going on, like you
right.
said, I was playing in a worship band. I still play in my country bluegrass band. I still kind of do my own solo music stuff on top of also being an adult, which, I have
Adulting
a
hard,
job. I have a job, which,
overrated.
I mean, I'm married. I have a house, so it's like I was just a very busy person. And I really wanted to do this though, but like you guys know, when we started we seemed like we were having a lot of setbacks
Yes.
when we were starting the show. And a big part of that for me personally was just having so much going on at the time. And it was like a song comes to mind. I was kind of spreading myself a little too thin,
Mm.
Yes.
and I just had to. And I the worship band that I was in, it was a great time, and it just for reasons that we won't necessarily get into, it came to an end.
Mhm.
And I feel like I had a hard time with it because that was the most faith-based thing that I had going on in my life, and I really enjoyed it. I really felt like it was my way of giving back to God and my talents back. But when that ended, like I said, I was kind of sad about it. But like saying, like the topic is, everything happens for a reason. I think that ended because God really was calling me to focus more on this show. And so that's what we did. And it seemed like everything goes really great and really smooth. And we're on a lot of episodes now. We're doing great. 2025 is going to be a great year for us, I think.
Amen.
Yes, we can't do it without you. Like,
Yeah.
just so you all know, Shane is the glue to all of this. He's like, doing all the lighting and the camera and the audio and the sound effects, putting the bookends of the intro and the editing, like all of this stuff. And you're just amazing and so talented at it. One of the things you had said was you felt like by doing the worship band, it was the most faith-based thing that you could do or give your offerings to God.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like your whole life has been an offering to God, whether it's singing a secular song or, your love for Brittany, the way you honor your mom, like your whole life has been a testimony of faith. And so, I know we sometimes feel like we have to do something spiritual to feel like we're giving to God, but I just wanted to throw that in that your whole life has been a testimony and is continuing to be a testimony. And just like some of you don't know, we did a women's conference where we had hundreds of women come, and it was at a time where Shane was in college. And he was paying his own tuition to get through college, and we needed speakers and sound systems that the venue didn't have. And he used his tuition money in faith. And he did not have the tuition money to buy, next semester's classes and books and all that stuff. And he's like, God will provide. And you just went and bought all the equipment for our conference and stuff. I mean, those are things that are like giving your everything and your gifts to God. It's just so beautiful. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
insert that your whole life has been a testimony. But the other thing I heard you say is like you felt like when this ended, it was a setback. And do you have anything to say about if the people who are listening and they're coming to an end in life with something, and you would say, hey, listen, everything happens for many reasons, and one of them could be a setback, could mean what? Like, I know that's a big question, but does anything come to mind?
No, I think kind of like the like sort of just like the saying goes. I mean, when God shuts one door, He opens, and I think a lot of it is maybe having to find that perspective in yourself. I mean, it might have been a setback, but He opened another door, which has been this. So it's been great. I think a lot of it is perspective and just kind of leaving it to God and saying, okay, like this might feel like a setback, but this door is going to open and we're going to move forward.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I started tearing up there, as Donna was talking, as Mama does sometimes.
Yes.
But going back, I will never forget the first day we were filming, and we had so many setbacks.
Yeah.
And Shane, you were like, I think you guys need to find somebody else because I just am not equipped enough to do this. And, I was like, well, whatever, like if this is not what you're feeling, that's fine. Just let us know. But you are equipped to do this. And now look at you, like
Yeah.
now in your resume, you have producer of That's Funny Talk Show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the many reasons I see is like, something had to come to an end for a new beginning. So God could use this.
Exactly.
God is using this for women in prison, in addiction. Like we haven't even gotten into episodes of like the reasons and how he used this and what our vision was for this. I mean, there's so much more we haven't even shared yet. And we're excited as we get into the new year, we will do that. But, those setbacks are a chance for us to step up in faith and to let God, do his thing, like you said, Shane. So that's been beautiful. And it also kind of opens some doors for you to just spend more time with your bride, right? And, not being pulled so thin
Absolutely.
in different directions. So I'm sure she was appreciative of that. And I did see on social media that she wanted a private reading of your new book when it launched or your writings on YouTube. So
Yes, and we did do that. We did do that.
good. I wanted to say, I want a private reading too, but then I was like, well, that'd be awkward.
No.
Well, tell us now about your health journey and why you think some of the reasons might have happened with your health. And just to give you a quick summary, and please go back and watch previous episodes, but Shane was born with a rare medical condition, wasn't expected to live past the age of 10. And he has surpassed all the decades now and is an old geezer. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, now I'm his mom.
Getting there. Getting there.
Hold
Now
on.
that's funny.
No, that's funny. But yes, you have been a miracle walking. And so from your seat, like what are some of the reasons that, this might have happened to you in your life?
Yeah, well, yeah, like you said, with the brief summary of everything, it's been hard in its own way. I mean, I wouldn't lie and say that it's been easy. It's been hard every day, but kind of like we were talking about perspective and kind of leaving it to God. I think that the biggest thing has always just been everything happens for a reason. And I think for me, the reason that these things have happened is I try really hard to kind of thankful for every day. I mean, genuinely, wake up and just be happy that I woke up today because I could have not woken up many years ago. And so I've always taken that as kind of, well, this is why this has happened to me, so that I can find the positivity and kind of the silver lining in every day, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I was reading a book and I'll totally botch it. It won't be as good as it actually says, but it says something along the lines of like you'll never know spiritual growth until you've suffered. That's
Yeah.
basically what the opening
Right.
line of is this book. And I think when you live, especially through health stuff, you have a different perspective about gratitude and your walk with God, but it stretches you in a spiritual way that many, unless you've experienced that health, issue,
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't grow in the same manner.
So Shane, I have a question for you.
Hmm.
So, where is first, so for someone like you who is sharing this with us, where is the line between your syndrome, using it, you are a miracle, using that for the greater good to help others, but also where is the line of, is that too much pressure for you? Because you truly are a walking miracle. But I know that you're supposed to be out there doing something for the greater good. But also that is a lot of pressure. So how do you find that balance?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think you just, I mean, like I said, I have my day. I mean, I try and find the positivity and the silver lining in every day. But I think you also have to let yourself have those days where you're not feeling it, and
Right.
like for the most part, I mean, you have to find that silver lining and give it all to God. But some days you just have to have a day where it's just like I can't be that person today. I just need to, like Miss Smith might do, go hide under the covers and just not be bothered today.
I gotta
And
use that line.
I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out. But I mean, I think you just have you just kind of have to have your days where, you just have to decompress a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope that answers your
It
question.
does. I mean, because I do
Yeah.
understand, not only as someone who has medical issues, but also as your mother, like it is a heavy burden to bear because yes, you are living with this daily, but you know that you're living with this because there is something, you have a greater calling.
Yeah.
You just do, you know? So finding that balance is, I think, super important.
Yep, and you do it so well. And for all of you watching, see, I got to be the timekeeper, so I'm like, this is so good. We might have to have you back as a second interview because there's so much more I want to ask you. But we do try and keep our episodes on a timeline. But what I got from that, and what I hope listeners and watchers will hear is the GG, two G's. You've got to be grateful no matter what comes your way because everything happens for many reasons. And we don't think it's just one, but you've got to be grateful for those. And then you've got to give yourself grace when
Yes.
you've got to give yourself grace. Don't push yourself too hard. Don't get too thin. Trust in God, but on those down days, just say, you know what, today just sucks. And I'm just going to go back to bed and put the covers over my head and just be in that for a little bit. So G and G, grateful and grace.
I
Do you want
love
Mhm.
that.
do you want to say anything else before we kind of wrap up, Shane? Or
Um, no, I just, thank you guys for having me on. It's kind of weird to be on this side of the screen.
yes.
Um, and yeah, I know that 2025 is going to be a great year for this show. So I hope everyone watches and likes and subscribes and shares and all that stuff and get something out of it. The
Yes.
biggest thing.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. And if you are struggling, you're out there and struggling, know that Shane not only was not supposed to live past the age of 10, he's had various brain surgeries, lots of doctor's visits, and he has walked this walk. So you can walk this walk too, because not only does Shane have a very specific purpose for being here for such a time as this, but so do you. Nobody else can God, it doesn't need anybody else. He needs you to work through, and you have a very specific moment in time that you were born for. So give yourself that GG, like be grateful and give yourself grace. So that's what we've got for this episode. And like Shane says, don't forget to give us comments, subscribe, like all that good stuff. And remember, don't tell anybody that everything happens for a reason. Now,
Now
That's
that's funny.
funny.
From the heavens high above, I feel the touch of his laughter and love. In every moment, tear and smile, God's humor is heard, every step, every mile. Keep walking, dear sister. You've got this.